welcome to the online virtual classroom. I'd like to take a minute to welcome everybody to class. Our class is going to begin this week, and I'm really excited to meet all of you guys. Some of you I've had in class before, some of you I haven't. But first, let's get to know each other a little bit. This video is a brief introduction to me and my background as an educator and also as a forensic specialist. So my name is Rachel Leintz, and I'm your instructor for this course. I have a Master's of Forensic Science degree with a concentration in crime scene investigation. I got that degree at the George Washington University in DC, our capital. Before going to DC, I attended Tulane University, which is in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I received a bachelor's degree there in English, as well as minors in evolutionary biology and psychology. So as you can see, I have spent quite a bit of time in the higher education system, and I've taken all different kinds of classes, from early modern authors to forensic pathology. So if you guys have questions throughout your academic career, don't hesitate to ask, okay? I'm always available by email, phone sometimes if necessary, so ask me any questions you like. That's what we instructors are here for. They don't just have to be forensic questions. If you have questions in general about school, about college, about dealing with all of the new things that come about when you start the online element of your education, I'm here for you, okay? So just keep that in mind. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about my work experience background. I began in forensic science while I was at Tulane down in New Orleans. And while I was attending school, I was lucky enough to be introduced to a death scene investigator. His name was Bill Donovan, from the Jefferson Parish Forensic Center. So I was an intern for him and for that facility for about 2 years, and I shadowed a medical legal death investigator for those 2 years before I graduated. Once I became enrolled at GWU, George Washington, I landed a job working for the United States Secret Service, which was pretty awesome. At their headquarters down on H Street, I worked with several different units within the service, and I met some fantastic friends and colleagues along the way. The Secret Service is filled with some really fantastic professionals, and I gained a lot of experience there. So it was my love of crime scene investigation that led me out here to the middle of the desert in Mesa, Arizona, which was quite a culture shock after living in DC and Seattle and New Orleans. I spent about 2.5 years with the Mesa Police Department here before I made the transfer to the Phoenix Police Department, which is just a little bit west of Mesa. At Phoenix PD, we call that moving to varsity, but don't tell the Mesa guys. Currently, I'm a crime scene specialist too. I worked for the homicide detail of the crime scene response unit for about 4 years before I switched to part-time so that I could focus more on teaching and hanging out with you guys and helping you with your online schoolwork. So I work with a wonderful group of specialists and detectives. They've given me the nickname of Holmes, as in Sherlock, and my partner, Watson, whose name is Laura Anzalone, and we work crazy hours. We're on call for major incident responses, so we're pretty busy most of the time in Phoenix. I've been teaching for Everest in their virtual classroom, so online, for the past 12 terms, which is over 3 years just about. The classes that I've taught have included Graphs and Docs 1, Policing in America, Crime Scene Photography 1 and 2, Biological Evidence Collection 1 and 2, Criminalistics, and Fingerprinting 1 and 2. I've also taught in-person classes at Everest College, Phoenix campus, and my courses there included Biological Evidence Collection, Crime Scene Photography 1, and Graphics and Documentation 2. I have also taught at some of the other universities around the valley, so I have a good amount of experience teaching in the online environment, in the classroom, and I am also asked frequently by my supervisors at work to do training for new crime scene specialists. So pretty broad background there. a little bit more about just my professional background. I'm also certified as a CCSA, or a Certified Crime Scene Analyst, which is the second level of certification through the IAI, which is the International Association for Identification. And that's the international organization that's responsible for certifying pretty much all crime scene specialists. There are a couple other organizations out there that focus more specifically on forensic scientists, biologists, toxicologists, things of that nature. But the IAI is pretty much the go-to for crime scene professionals throughout the country and throughout the world to a certain extent. So when I'm not running around on crime scenes or grading your papers, I can usually be found in the lab, and I do a lot of research there when I have the time and my bosses allow it. Everything's pretty good so far as my safety record is concerned. I have succeeded in not blowing up the crime scene lab yet. I've been published in the prestigious Journal for Identification, which is put out by the IAI. I have 2 different papers that have been published there, and I hope to do a lot more research in the future, so keep your eyes peeled for that if you guys decide to become student members of the IAI. So let me tell you guys a little bit about why I love to teach. Crime scene investigation is my passion. With my background, with my education, I could work in a lot of different parts of the crime lab, but I chose crime scene because it's fascinating. It is the most applied science you will ever run across. You will literally use absolutely everything that you learn in class every day on crime scenes. So I'm extremely passionate about that field. And I started in this field several years before CSI, became the big Hollywood name that it is now. And the forensic field has fascinated me for even longer than that. I actually started in forensic anthropology, was actually what started my fascination with it. And as a student, I realized that the field that I was interested in, crime scene, was very difficult to break into. And I found out throughout my career that I was pretty much right. So, by teaching in the criminal justice and the criminal investigation field of education, I hope that I can pass on my experience to you guys and my knowledge, so that when you become future investigators, I can instill that same passion in you that I felt when I was in school before I started off in this career. I love finding new ways to explain concepts to students. That is kind of my obsession. So if you ever find yourself just kind of grumbling at the computer, just thinking, I'm never going to understand this, it doesn't make any sense. Well, I'm the instructor for you. Just tell me. Tell me that you're having issues with certain topics, and I will figure out a way to make it relatable to you. Anyone can learn anything as long as you have the desire to learn, the dedication to your studies, and your instructor or your teacher can find a way to make that information relatable to you. I'm pretty much glued to my computer or an email capable phone at any given point of the day. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, that's why I'm here. I think of the instructor-student relationship as a partnership, okay? We're going to work through the course as a team along with your classmates, and so never be afraid to ask for help, okay? That's why you're here. You're here to learn, and you can't learn new things if you don't speak up when things don't make sense. And who knows, you might have a different way of understanding things that your classmates haven't thought of before, okay? So you can help each other. I really look forward to meeting you guys over the next few weeks. I will see you in the classroom.